Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. We are November. October's over. November 11th, 2024, and we're here for our Deluxe Premarket Prep session. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be feeling better. I'm happy to be feeling, rested and rejuvenated and ready to take on this week. Um, Despite me being down and out last week and really fighting for my life, we still had an amazing week in markets. One of my favorite leap slash long swings in a long time, Visa came through in a big way. Sounded the alarm for Visa, and we had a number of other long swings come through, and a number of people, successfully execute their first trade, successfully execute their first multiple 100% return trade. We had successful earnings plays. We had successful swing plays, short swing plays, long swing plays. And I'm very grateful for it. And I'm grateful for everything that this week has for us as well. Bitcoin firing off to new all-time highs, nothing that wasn't, talked about and predicted here based off of that structure that Bitcoin has had, right? Been talking about it testing breakout and, in this big bull flag structure. And now it's finally achieving that breakout, with the election results that we got last week. So, it's great that we've been able to survive and thrive despite whoever is in office. Again, that doesn't change our mandate. It doesn't change our game plan. It's getting 1% better daily. And that's exactly what we're looking to do here today, this fine morning. So make sure you drop those ones in the chat signifying your intention to get 1% better by the end of this session. And let's knock it out of the freaking park, right? Because we got a few things to go over, and I am happy to go over them. Now, let's see. Let's get into our week ahead first. We'll go over all of that good stuff. So, mhm. And I hope everybody had a great and safe weekend. Happy Veterans Day, I believe. Veterans Day. Like I said, I'm still getting back into it, getting my head screwed back on straight. So, shout out to all of our veterans. I have a number of brave members of my family who have served, and if there's anyone who's currently serving or has served, and as a part of those armed forces, we honor you today. Thank you for keeping us safe, and today is your day, right? So markets are still open, so that means that we're still here and executing and whatnot. But I believe that banks are closed, so that's one thing that traders might find a little bit wacky is that maybe you have money that didn't settle from last week. That could be the case. So don't be alarmed if you're like, okay, I closed this trade and my money hasn't settled, and that could be because of the holiday today. So be aware of that. If you get in there, you don't have access to as much option buying power as you thought. It might be because of this holiday. But let's see here. In the week ahead, top news, the quote unquote Trump trade will continue to grab much of the attention on Wall Street next week, following a momentous few days that saw Republican candidate and former President Donald Trump win the U.S. election against Vice President Kamala Harris. Though the final tally of votes is yet to arrive, a red sweep seems likely. Markets reacted with gusto to Trump's win, sending the benchmark S&P 500 to its best week since over a year, and powering it past the 6,000 points milestone in a historic first. The blue chip Dow had its own significant achievement in crossing 44,000 points for the first time ever. With the bulk of the election now in the rear view, along with the Federal Reserve's latest quarter point interest rate cut, the focus next week shifts to a packed economic calendar in the earnings season. Traders will receive October Consumer Price Index data on Wednesday, followed by the retail sales report for the same month on Friday. In terms of quarterly results, there are several high-profile names scheduled to announce their numbers, including Walt Disney, Cisco, Home Depot, Applied Materials, Shopify, and Spotify. Right? I feel like now I end up calling it Spot just because that's its ticker, but you guys know it is Spotify. Earnings news specifically on this calendar: Monday, November 11th, Live Nation Entertainment reports today. That's LYV. Other than that, no real important names. Tuesday, November 12th. Home Depot, AstraZeneca, Shopify, Spotify, Occidental Petroleum, and Tyson Foods. So we've got some big household names reporting tomorrow. Any of them I'm particularly interested in? Not really. Um, Wednesday, November 13th, Cisco, New Holdings, Alcon, CyberArk Software, and Tower Semiconductor, which is TSEM, not to be confused with TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. Um, Thursday, Walt Disney, ticker DIS, Applied Materials, AMAT, which is, one of those big AI sector trades. AMAT, given the fact that they put together a lot of the materials that go into semiconductors, and obviously semiconductors are very important to the growth and continued integration of AI. JD.com, Advanced Auto Parts on Thursday as well. Alibaba reports on Friday, Williams Sonoma and Spectrum Brands Holdings. So we're definitely in the descending leg of earnings season. We've got all the big reports behind us. We've got the interest rate decision behind us. We've got the election behind us. So we've got a lot of big sort of volatile events that are behind us now, and we can move forward with more volume being involved with markets and more conviction. A lot of people say, oh, well, does it mean that we're guaranteed to go up or we're guaranteed to go down from here? That is not the case. And don't think about this in black and white. Also, don't get caught up in the FOMO. Right. There are a ton of people that are like, man, Trump got elected and all these stocks are up and I missed it. I got to figure out where I'm getting in. I got to figure out do you feel that anxiety and that overwhelm that's like oozing off of me when I talk like that, right? And it oozes off of everyone as they talk like that, trying to chase, and oh, you get desperate, and it's like, you're getting desperate for what? Nobody who has ever been desperate has made a good decision that works out best for themselves. I don't think ever. Right? I don't think desperation ever drives you to make a positive decision for yourself, right? There's a certain peace and resolve that comes when you make a decision, but that has to come from you having a good idea of what is going on, not just moving for the sake of moving, because that helps no one. So make sure that you center yourself, do what's necessary, right? Pray, journal, meditate, do all those things that are necessary to center yourself, rein in control of your emotions, right? And be able to take inventory of where we are, where markets are, where these different stocks are, and then evaluate opportunity. But at no point will I ever let the news cycle, what people are posting on Facebook, Instagram, oh, wow, I was in Tesla and it did that. Awesome. Great for you. I'm not letting any of those external forces influence how I manage myself. Right, because you don't know the total picture. And it's way too often in markets that people let factors that have nothing to do with how they should be positioning their money influence how they position their money in markets. And it always comes back to bite them. So that's my big advice here for this week. And, as we head in things, stay in your lane, play your role. It's you versus you. Don't, kind of leave yourself beholden to that monster that is comparison, whether it's comparing yourself to those around you or comparing yourself to who you thought you would be, right? At this time or at this point. It's just about getting 1% better each and every day. So don't compare yourself to your peers. Don't compare yourself to the you thought you were going to be. Get 1% better daily. Let's continue to grind. But that's a big, important thing now. I feel like when a lot of people are still sort of shaken from election results last week, and we're headed into the holidays, and it's an important time to really, really, really tend to your mental, right? A really key time, and a time where I know a lot of people are struggling, health wise, and a lot of different things, right? A lot of stuff happening in 2024, a lot of things being uncovered, a lot of things being brought to light, and a lot of people changing internally and externally. So I say all that to say, make sure you keep a lid on that mental, take radical responsibility, right? Do what you need to do in order to ensure that what you want to happen happens, and don't be afraid of change or the repercussions or anything like that, right? But play your game. That's always the big headline is play your game, because people will get caught up nonstop and be like, oh, this thing is running like this, what Dogecoin is running, like I need to go get some, and now you're just scrambling and you have yourself in this fight or flight response where it's just like nothing good ever comes of it. And you typically have no plan whenever you make a decision based out of desperation. You're like, I got no plan, I'm just gonna do it, and then you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do now, right? So checking out today's economic calendar: Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day holiday, bond market closed. Tuesday, November 12th, got a few members of the Fed, but none of them important. Hopefully, none of them watch. Maybe they are consistent, viewers of the pre-market prep session. If they are, I apologize. Mr. Christopher Waller, Tom Barkin, and Patrick Harker. Wednesday, November 13th, we get CPI data. That's important. inflation data, consumer price index, right? Measuring kind of how prices change in a typical basket of goods. And CPI is not what the Fed deems most important, but markets often deem it important. So Wednesday, as of right now, is the biggest day because that's when we get the CPI data. Thursday, Federal Reserve Governor Adriana Kugler speaks at 7 a.m. We get PPI data on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. And then we've got Powell speaking at 3 p.m. So that's a fun little wrench. So right now, Wednesday is definitely a big day, and Thursday is a big day. Wednesday, we get CPI before the market opens. Thursday, we get PPI, and we also get Powell speaking at 3 p.m. So those will be, some important times here. Friday, what do we have going on? What do we have going on? U.S. retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing Survey, industrial production. Nothing really big on Friday. Wednesday and Thursday are going to be our biggest days for, economic data and economically relevant events. So that is what we want to kind of factor into our expectations, have that, weighed into our calendar of what to expect this week. So now that you know, do whatever you need to do. Put a reminder in your phone. If you know that that's not enough, remind your trusty voice assistant, right? Write it down on a sticky note. Do whatever you need to do, right? Once you're made aware, it is on you, right? Radical responsibility to remember, okay, we've got inflation data that comes in Wednesday morning, some PPI is just producer, inflation data. So CPI is for us as consumers, PPI is for producers. So is it, how's inflation changing for the people that produce goods or the entities that produce goods? And then we've got Powell at 3 p.m. Right. So take all that down in the calendar. I will as well. And that way, even through all the hustle and bustle, you have those guardrails set up to make sure that you're aware of what's happening. So top news here, going into our Monday specific news. Now that we've gone over the week ahead, we've gone over the economic calendar, which are always our two, things that we want to do on Monday. Top news, crypto first. Bitcoin topped the $80,000 level over the weekend, becoming one of the most prominent Trump trades in the aftermath of the 2024 election. Back on the campaign trail now, President-elect Donald Trump jumped on the crypto bandwagon with promises to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve, fight CBDCs, and defend the right to self-custody. However, the biggest catalyst seems to be his commitment to a favorable regulatory environment and vowing to eliminate unclear or tough laws that stifle the sector. Yeah, like I said before, these politicians have people on staff who are technical analysts, right? So Trump allying himself and aligning himself with Bitcoin was a strategy that was only natural. You have a huge bullish structure on Bitcoin, so it's very important for you to then you have the halving that already took place, right? So you have all these events coalescing in a time where you can be a big proponent and you can be seen as the reason why something made the move that it was going to make, right? Bitcoin post having all of that always going to go up, right? But him really aligning himself with Bitcoin um, was smart because now people associate like Bitcoin going up with Trump or the reason why this happened. This would have happened regardless of Trump or anyone else. Both sides were sort of pandering to the crypto sector. Everybody was like, hey, I'm big crypto now. I'm big on crypto. I'm big. Yeah, you're big on crypto because crypto is about to blow up, right? Again. So it's like it only makes sense. But this happening because of one candidate or the other, I don't think is necessarily the case. This is something that would have happened already. The structure was already in place. Accumulation had already been happening. So it's one of those things where correlation does not equal causation. While some sectors definitely, might do better because of who is in office, and their stocks might go up specifically because of that. I don't believe that crypto is one of them, right? If you ask any crypto person and you go deep into like the fundamentals, it's something that it would have been fine regardless. Next steps, plans are underway to appoint. Let me see here. Start with the sector. Plans are underway to appoint a presidential advisory council to let the crypto industry thrive. And while there might be some legal tussling, Chairman Gary Gensler may soon find himself out of the position, along with Senate Banking Committee Chair Sherrod Brown. Trump's sweep in the 7 battleground states and the coming red wave that's set to descend on Capitol Hill will mean that plans can be carried out with many pro-crypto lawmakers soon to be found in the halls of Congress. The bullish sentiment has even propelled altcoins, Cardano and Solana, as well as meme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, in a broad boost to the entire crypto sector. It'll all translate into better policy certainty, especially for tier one banks, which will be more inclined to integrate crypto services and platforms into their businesses. That should also help more institutional investors come aboard, which can push prices even further via direct buying and a broader range of crypto ETFs. Remember, volatility is always going to be present in the crypto sphere, but history has shown the need for diamond hands to really win in the asset class. So that's just, shouting out anybody who is hopping in. Again, do your own research, right? Make sure you understand what you're getting into, the reason why you're getting into it. If you're getting into Doge or getting into Shiba, recognize that you're in it just because it's literally a meme coin, right? It's like a public sentiment play. The reason why coins like that exist is because there are people who have FOMO whenever things happen, right? In real coins and real spaces, and then it bleeds over into those. That's why you have, Bitcoin runs, Ethereum runs, and then what do you get? FOMO that comes into all these different altcoins where people are like, oh, well, since that happened and then we missed this, then, a rising wave will bring up all boats, right? Whatever it is, rising tide raises all ships. And they're like, I gotta hop into, that thing that everybody with FOMO will hop into. And that's what's happening now with Doge and Shiba Inu and all these other different dog-based coins. Flashback, Trump wasn't always that friendly to Bitcoin and was far from being an advocate. I'm glad that they mentioned this. And this isn't because I'm pro this or pro that. I'm just pro accountability and pro facts. And this is where it's at. Like people were like, oh, Trump is big pro Bitcoin, like Bitcoin is running. Bitcoin ran when Trump was against Bitcoin, right? Like it's not him that's causing this. This would have happened regardless. During his first term in office, he said crypto value is based on thin air while connecting the digital assets to crime-riddled scams and threats to the U.S. dollar. Fast forward to the campaign cycle, and Trump was able to distinguish himself from the anti-crypto crusade of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's in quotes. At the Bitcoin 2024 conference in July, he laid out a plan to, quote, ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and Bitcoin superpower of the world. This is US politics, right? Do what you need to do, say what you need to say in order to get in office. And your values and your morals and your opinions completely change based off of, the circumstances that you find yourself operating in. That's where we're at, right? So for anyone who thinks Trump is my crypto champion, he's not. To anyone who might have thought Kamala's my crypto champion, she's not. You're your own champion always, right? Because these people's tunes will change. Whatever is most advantageous to them, their tunes will change. You want to get out there, educate yourself, advocate for yourself, and make sure that you make the moves regardless of whoever is in the White House. Because none of those people are going to come over and put money in your pocket, right? They might put a $1,200 stimulus check, but that's transitory money, right? It means nothing in the long run. Even if someone comes and gives you $10,000 right now, if you have no idea of what to do with it, where to put it, right, how to operate, you don't have the correct mindset, that will end up being nothing for you in the long run. You want to make sure that you are constantly develop your mindset and your skill set so that every single time you get something, its value is exponentially more than if you would have gotten it 1 year ago. Right. Every piece of information that I get now, every tool that I have access to, it is exponentially more valuable than it would have been to me 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Why? Because I am expanding my mindset, broadening my horizons, and expanding my skill set. So now every piece of info that I get, I can flip and turn and arrange and structure into something greater. And that's by virtue of just looking to get 1% better daily. So that's why we're here doing that, right? Each and every morning. And even in the times when I won't be here to do that, because like I said, I won't be here forever. I won't be doing this forever. I'm a person who wants to do, a lot with life, and it won't always be the morning streams. I will always be involved in markets. I will always be trading. But at some point, like when I'm older, I want to go to culinary school. I love cooking. I'd love to live 5 lives in this one life. So make sure that you are better in yourself as well, because you got to be ready for whatever life brings you as you continue to progress and grow and live. Because there are a lot of things that are happening now. And like I said, it's been a lot of fun things that are attention grabbing, right? And they're enticing. Um, so yeah, keep your ears to the streets and get a little bit better every day. Now, today's markets looking mostly green in Asia, Japan up 0.1%, Hong Kong down 1.5, China up 0.5, India flat. The footy in London up 0.9%, Paris up 1.1%, Frankfurt up 1.4%, Dow up 0.4, S&P up 0.3, Nasdaq up 0.4, crude down 1.6%, gold down 1%, Bitcoin up 2.6%. Dun, 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 dun. What else is happening? We'll finish up with our rapid fire stock news rundown. U.S. orders TSMC to stop some chip shipments to China. Our deportation is likely to cause big disruptions for U.S. business. Tesla at 1 trillion, bigger than next 10 biggest auto stocks combined. Wow, sheesh, that's crazy. What a flex. Musk joined call between Trump and Ukraine's Zelensky. Firefox turns 20. Can Mozilla return to its previous heights? Probably not. DOJ is investigating possible price fixing in the PVC market. NVIDIA dominates the AI accelerator market. Is there anyone else? Russia mulls mega oil merger between Rosneft, Gazprom, and Lukoil. Taiwan aims for massive defense contract of American weapons. That's not an encouraging headline. And then Biden and Trump to meet at White House on Wednesday. Got two old farts meeting to, kind of discuss the future of the country, and more old farts, meeting to do the same in the future moving forward. So we just want to make sure that we're there doing everything that we can to ensure the future that we want right now. Right. And part of that is making sure that this is a part of your daily routine, right? Even if I'm not here, seekingalpha.com, right? The Wall Street Breakfast newsletter. That's where I go through and I get this information. And then Market Watch, right? The Market Watch economic calendar. That's where I get the data from the economic calendars, right? So regardless of if I'm here or not, if I'm well or not, whatever, right? Each and every Monday, you want to be going over the week ahead newsletter that you get on Sunday from Seeking Alpha. You can subscribe on their website. This isn't an ad. I'm not paid by them. This is just what I use. And you go over that week ahead newsletter. And then you also go over that Monday specific news, right? Which you'll get at around 8 a.m., something like that, to your email if you're subscribed. Go over both of those and go over the economic calendar. Lay out your expectations for the week. And then make sure that you set whatever alerts, alarms that you need to have set in order to, be locked and loaded and ready to execute and ready to take those into consideration. And then you move from there, right? You move from there. So I'm excited for this week, excited to knock it out of the park, and excited to have all you here to do that with me. Have a great rest of the day. We'll be back here tomorrow morning for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.